We now ascend to the summit of the water-bearer, the third decan of Aquarius, the 21st to 30th degrees. This final sector is sub-ruled by Venus and carries the refined, cooperative, and deeply idealistic textures of Libra. While the first decan ignited the revolution and the second decan built the communication network, this third decan is the realm of the social prophet, the cosmic utopian, and the master cosmopolitan. Here, your planets realize that true innovation must elevate human relationships and create lasting harmony. This degree range represents where raw intellect softens into profound humanitarian wisdom. It is where your planets seek to anchor the ultimate ideals of brotherhood, global citizenship, and futuristic beauty into the fabric of everyday life. 21 degrees Aquarius, placed from 20.0 to 20.9. The Sabian symbol, a disappointed woman facing an empty chair. Symbol meaning: this degree represents the bittersweet realization that personal, old-world expectations must sometimes be sacrificed for a higher collective calling. It highlights where your planets learn to outgrow traditional codependency, finding true fulfillment in sovereign independence or a larger societal purpose rather than waiting for external validation. What the planets mean here. Sun, a fiercely self-reliant leader or visionary who outgrows the need for conventional social approval, charting a solo path that eventually commands deep public respect. Moon, possesses a deeply self-contained emotional nature, masters the art of emotional independence and learns to feel completely secure even when standing entirely alone. Mercury, mind is exceptionally realistic and stripped of romantic illusion, excels at objective sociology, identifying systemic gaps, and writing candid, clear-eyed critiques of human relationships. Venus, learns to release unrealistic relationship ideals, seeks unconventional, highly independent partnerships where both individuals have total freedom to grow. Mars, driven by a desire to overcome personal disappointment, channels energy into independent creative projects, self-mastery, or building platforms that support solo entrepreneurs. Jupiter, great fortune with launching independent consulting firms, investing in solo living real estate innovations, or finding abundance precisely when walking away from an unfulfilling arrangement. Saturn, overcoming profound early fears of abandonment, loneliness, or rejection, building an unshakable, rock-solid core of inner self-worth that requires zero outside confirmation. 22 degrees Aquarius. The Sabian symbol, a rug placed on the floor of a nursery for children to play on. Symbol meaning: this degree represents the deliberate creation of a safe, warm, and protective environment where the future generation can grow, experiment, and collaborate. It shows where your planets excel at building foundational frameworks, community play spaces, or educational safeguards. What the planets mean here. Sun, a natural protector of youth, progressive educator, or social architect who dedicates their life purpose to creating nurturing, innovative environments for the next generation. Moon, possesses an intensely nurturing, communal maternal instinct, finds deep emotional peace when curating safe spaces, hosting community gatherings, or working in early childhood development. Mercury, mind excels at designing interactive learning software, child psychology, writing whimsical yet educational literature, and creating intuitive, playful data layouts. Venus, drawn to warm, playful, and deeply caring individuals, values friendships and relationships that prioritize emotional safety, mutual kindness, and shared innocence. Mars, driven to protect the vulnerable, channels physical energy into building playgrounds, funding youth sports programs, or fighting fiercely for child welfare and safety laws. Jupiter, spectacular luck with opening innovative daycare franchises, publishing children's media, inventing educational toys, or receiving major grants for youth nonprofits. Saturn, facing early memories of a cold, overly rigid, or unprotected childhood, mastering the discipline and empathy required to ensure the next generation has a perfectly safe foundation. 23 degrees Aquarius. The Sabian symbol, a big bear sitting down and waving its paws. Symbol meaning: this degree represents the conscious taming of raw, primal power to foster peaceful, diplomatic cooperation. It highlights where a planet possesses immense strength but chooses to channel it into a gentle, charismatic presentation to put the collective at ease and build trust. What the planets mean here. Sun, a towering public figure, gentle giant, or influential diplomat who disarms opponents and commands massive audiences through sheer warmth and approachable charisma. Moon, possesses vast, deep emotional reserves that are masterfully controlled, acts as a steady, comforting protector who uses their strength to soothe and calm anxious environments. Mercury, mind is capable of translating massive, heavy concepts into light-hearted, accessible, and highly engaging humor, excels at public relations and mass marketing. Venus, attracted to physically imposing yet emotionally tender and expressive partners, loves relationships built on playful affection, mutual protection, and deep loyalty. Mars, drive is immense but beautifully disciplined, channels physical strength into performing arts, animal training, martial arts showmanship, or non-threatening leadership. Jupiter, exceptional fortune with entertainment management, wildlife conservation funding, high-profile public relations campaigns, and businesses centered on mass charisma. Saturn, overcoming early anxieties surrounding raw power, anger, or feeling physically awkward, learning to refine and package your massive personal strength into a polished, universally respected presence. 24 degrees Aquarius. The Sabian symbol, a man having overcome his passions teaches deep wisdom from his experience. Symbol meaning. This symbol represents the transition from chaotic personal desire to serene, universal mentorship. It shows where your planets have survived an intense personal trial, transforming that raw life experience into a structured, crystalline blueprint of wisdom to guide others. What the planets mean here. Sun, an esteemed elder, life coach, or spiritual guide who builds a legendary reputation by leading others out of emotional or material chaos based on their own lived survival. Moon, exceptionally steady and emotionally detached in the healthiest way, acts as a lighthouse for people in crisis, providing calm, objective emotional counsel without absorbing the panic. Mercury, mind is highly philosophical and clinical, optimized for writing profound self-mastery books, psychological rehabilitation frameworks, and speaking with absolute, calm authority. Venus rejects superficial drama, craves mature, deeply conscious relationships based on mutual evolution, philosophical alignment, and shared inner peace. Mars, drive is masterfully disciplined and calm, channels physical energy into running rehabilitation programs, mentoring at-risk groups, or teaching high-level spiritual or psychological practices. Jupiter, spectacular luck with global self-help publishing, founding retreat centers, high-end mindset coaching, and finding immense wealth through teaching personal development. Saturn, facing intense, turbulent early desires or addictions that threaten to derail your life, mastering complete emotional sovereignty to become an unshakable authority on human resilience. 25 degrees Aquarius. The Sabian symbol, a butterfly with the right wing more perfectly developed than the left. Symbol meaning. This degree represents a deliberate evolutionary focus on the rational, intuitive, or spiritual mind over the purely physical. It highlights where a planet embraces a beautiful, unique asymmetry or an unconventional talent, leaning heavily into their unique genius to fly. What the planets mean here. Sun, a highly specialized intellectual, vanguard artist, or cognitive pioneer who thrives by focusing intensely on a singular, highly unique mental superpower. Moon, processes the world through a beautifully unique, atypical emotional filter. Intuitive gifts are hyper-developed, allowing them to sense unseen energetic currents. Mercury, mind is engineered for hyper-specialization, left brain logic, advanced mathematics, or highly specific linguistic arts, thinks in a brilliantly non-linear fashion. Venus, drawn to highly eccentric, unique, or beautifully asymmetrical individuals, values relationships that celebrate intellectual quirks over standard, boring symmetry. Mars, energy is applied in a highly specific, targeted direction, excels at fine-tuned precision work, specialized tech programming, or alternative neurological therapies. Jupiter, exceptional fortune with intellectual property patents, neurodivergent educational systems, specialized tech funding, and turning a unique quirk into a massive asset. Saturn, overcoming early feelings of being lopsided, clumsy, or misunderstood by standard systems, learning that your specific difference is the exact engine of your genius. 26 degrees Aquarius. The Sabian symbol, a garage man testing a car's battery with a hydrometer. Symbol meaning, this degree represents practical diagnostics, precision checkups, and measuring the hidden energy reserves of a system. It shows where a planet focuses on maintenance, ensuring that the engine of your life, business, or community is perfectly charged and functionally efficient. What the planets mean here. Sun, a master technician, analytical consultant, or efficiency engineer who commands authority by pinpointing exactly where a system is losing power or alignment. Moon, keeps a close, analytical eye on their own mental health and energy levels, knows exactly when to recharge their emotional battery and avoid total burnout. Mercury, mind is highly diagnostic and mechanical, optimized for troubleshooting complex automotive or tech systems, auditing financial sheets, and running routine efficiency checks. Venus, values absolute functionality and reliability in friendships and love, drawn to practical, handy, or deeply analytical partners who keep life running smoothly. Mars, driven to fix and optimize mechanics, channels energy into precision manufacturing, electrical engineering, car restoration, or systematizing business operations. Jupiter, great fortune with investing in automotive technology, battery and renewable energy grids, diagnostic software platforms, and preventative maintenance industries. Saturn, overcoming early experiences of sudden energetic exhaustion or mechanical failures, building a foolproof, step-by-step diagnostic routine to ensure lifelong stability. 27 degrees Aquarius. The Sabian symbol, an ancient pottery bowl filled with fresh violets. Symbol meaning, this degree represents the exquisite marriage of enduring structure and delicate, fleeting beauty. It highlights where a planet brings timeless artistic refinement, environmental aesthetics, or a gentle, poetic grace to the cold, functional world of technology and society. What the planets mean here. Sun, a celebrated interior designer, classic meets modern artist, or eco-aesthetician who brings a profound sense of natural elegance and soul to urban spaces. Moon, finds deep emotional sanctuary in pristine, artistically curated settings, possesses a gentle, highly romantic soul that blooms beautifully within a stable, traditional family structure. Mercury, mind excels at poetic expression, historical art curation, writing about natural aesthetics, and communicating harsh truths with an incredibly soft, elegant delivery. Venus, absolute love for classical antiques, fine pottery, and floral design, drawn to artists, historians, or individuals who embody a timeless, elegant grace. Mars, channels physical energy into delicate craftsmanship, pottery, organic farming, floral commerce, or actively beautifying communal environments. Jupiter, spectacular fortune with high-end antique dealing, luxury interior styling firms, fine art investing, and commercial organic flora cultivation. Saturn, overcoming an early environment that was barren, ugly, or overly clinical, mastering an artistic craft to become the architect of timeless, living beauty for the collective. 28 degrees Aquarius. The Sabian symbol, a tree felled and sawed to ensure a winter supply of wood. Symbol meaning, this degree represents masterful foresight, long-term preparation, and transforming natural resources into structured security. It highlights where a planet acts with immense practicality, planning months or years ahead to ensure the community remains warm and safe during lean times. What the planets mean here. Sun, a brilliant financial planner, agricultural strategist, or emergency preparedness expert who ensures their family or business is perfectly insulated against any crisis. Moon, thrives on deep material preparation, feels emotionally secure only when their pantry, savings accounts, and long-term provisions are completely locked down. Mercury, mind is exceptionally practical, logistical, and forward-thinking, optimized for seasonal budget forecasting, timber and resource allocation, and winter survival planning. Venus, drawn to highly grounded, prepared, and reliable partners who prioritize long-term stability over short-term flashiness, values security and shared resource management. Mars, driven to secure the perimeter, channels immense physical energy into hard labor, woodworking, building cold weather infrastructure, or stacking up financial assets. Jupiter, exceptional luck with investing in lumber and forestry industries, sustainable heating infrastructure, commodities trading, and long-term annuity funds. Saturn, facing early anxieties regarding scarcity, coldness, or lack of resources, learning to master the art of logistical preparation so thoroughly that you never face a shortage again. 29 degrees Aquarius. The Sabian symbol, butterfly emerging from a chrysalis. Symbol meaning: this degree represents the ultimate evolutionary metamorphosis, breaking entirely free from the cocoon of past conditioning to fly in complete freedom. It highlights where a planet undergoes a spectacular, irreversible transformation, stepping into their true, radiant social identity. What the planets mean here. Sun, a highly transformative trailblazer, evolutionary psychologist, or public icon whose life is defined by a massive, midlife public metamorphosis that inspires the world. Moon experiences profound, soul-level emotional rebirths, capable of completely dissolving old emotional baggage to step into a lighter, joyfully liberated state of being. Mercury, mind undergoes a massive paradigm shift, excels at rewriting their entire belief system, inventing groundbreaking conceptual frameworks, and speaking the language of absolute freedom. Venus, drawn to partners who trigger absolute personal transformation, experiences love as a sacred catalyst that breaks them free from old social or romantic cages. Mars, driven by the raw energy of liberation, channels physical power into breaking out of restrictive situations, launching revolutionary new life paths, or assisting others in their personal awakenings. Jupiter, spectacular fortune with life coaching empires, transformation retreat networks, cutting-edge beauty or style reinventions, and businesses that facilitate radical personal growth. Saturn, facing a long, arduous, and claustrophobic early struggle inside a restrictive social or familial cocoon, mastering the patient endurance needed to hatch into a flawless architect of freedom. 30 degrees Aquarius. The Sabian symbol, moonlit fields, once Babylon, are blooming again. Symbol meaning: the absolute cosmic graduation of the water-bearer. This degree represents the eternal rebirth of human civilization, showing that even when empires fall, the collective soul of humanity always regenerates and blooms under a higher light. It highlights where your planets channel prophetic, timeless wisdom to revive dead systems and bring a beautiful new world to life. What the planets mean here. Sun, a legendary historical visionary, macro-historian, or utopian leader whose lifework bridges ancient human legacy with the far-distant future, reviving collective hope. Moon, possesses a deeply mystical, old soul psyche that remembers the rise and fall of civilizations, feels an unshakable, poetic peace regarding the ultimate destiny of humanity. Mercury, mind is tuned to a prophetic, historical frequency, optimized for archaeological writing, global restoration projects, macroeconomics, and channeling timeless, universal truths. Venus, drawn to love that feels ancient, cosmic, and redemptive, values relationships that function as a peaceful sanctuary dedicated to global healing and artistic revival. Mars, driven by a profound, generational crusade, channels physical energy into restoring ruined properties, reviving forgotten cultures, or building sustainable systems on old foundations. Jupiter, legendary fortune with international heritage foundations, major archaeological discoveries, global real estate reclamation, and investing in technologies that revitalize dead land. Saturn, the ultimate completion of the Aquarian journey. Overcoming an early, crushing weight of generational trauma or world-weary cynicism, stepping fully into your role as a timeless, serene architect who knows exactly how to make the desert bloom again before transferring the cosmic spark to the oceanic depths of Pisces. Subscribe, like, and share.